You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Look at the stars. The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you.
I don't think it is very useful to speculate on what God might or might not be able to do. Rather, we should examine what he actually does with the universe we live in.
We are all explorers, driven to know what's over the horizon. The most profound discoveries are not necessarily beyond that next star. They're within us, woven into the threads that bind us.
Hello, beautiful people. Happy Monday, happy Moon Day, and welcome to a new week coming off of that potent full moon in Leo. Corby's here. Happy Monday to you. Rose, I'm so happy. I was just thinking as the show is opening, this might be a weird time for me to go live. This is just when I could make the space to join you all today, and it was perfect timing for Rose. I also want to point out today's birthdays because Bob Marley was an Aquarius. Talk about a man who united a lot of people, who still brings community together. Ronald Reagan, opposite agenda, but similar influence. Similar influence, Ronald Reagan. Let's see, Kathy Naomi. I might be saying her last name wrong, but she is the famous actress from what are the movies? Hocus Pocus, and what's the movie where they're all nuns? Why can't I remember it? Whoopi Goldberg, she's in that movie too. Somebody help me out. Axl Rose also has a birthday today. Rick Astley. Yes, thank you. The Sister Act. I knew it was Sister something and I couldn't remember it. Babe Ruth, also an Aquarius. Wow. A lot of notable people today. Chris Humphrey, Zsa Zsa Gabor, the list. Tinashe, just keeps going on. This, if nothing else, me reading off the birthdays, Natalie Cole, just proves that I recognize people's faces way more than their names. I'm like Tom Brokaw. I'm butchering a lot of people's names for sure. Isn't that such a great movie? Sister Act? Yeah. Good to know today's Bob's birthday. My husband claims he shares the same birthday as him. Is that not true then? That's funny. All right. Well, let's get a current check on the energy. The sun is, of course, in Aquarius. The moon is in Virgo. And what I'm feeling today, now this could just be because the moon opposed Saturn this morning, opposed my Saturn as well, but it really feels like a hangover from the heightened energy of this weekend's full moon. I'd love to know, though, how the energy feels for you, because these transits affect us all differently, and the moon happens to be in my 12th house, so I'm really feeling that like sensitive, kind of tired energy today. I'd love to know if you're feeling something different. 12th house transits, as many of you know, can be a little touchy, and so trying not to interject too much of that into the forecast, trying to put my journalist cap on and be unbiased here. Today we're talking about one major transit. Mercury and Neptune are connecting in a sextile. Then we'll touch on the moon, which has moved into Virgo. So let's start with Mercury and Neptune. I pulled up the chart a second ago, but let's pull it up again. And you can see Mercury is at 24 degrees in Capricorn, and Neptune at 23 degrees in Pisces right now. So this was an exact connection, I believe, around, well, let me tell you, that's what I'm here for, to give you the specifics, right? This was an exact connection around 10:30 this morning. We're still feeling it, but Mercury moves pretty fast. So this morning, you might have felt that fogginess that Neptune can bring. I've also noticed some tech glitches. It's like Neptune's throwing some fog and throwing some cloudiness, some confusion into the mix. Mercury likes things to be precise and exact, especially Mercury in Capricorn. We want things to be practical, and Neptune's really softening that energy. And kind of, it's almost like if you were looking at a TV screen, there would be a little bit of fuzz on the screen. An old TV screen, I guess, you know what I mean. So yeah, and I also acknowledge, speaking of how the transits are affecting me, Mercury is my ruling planet, so I'm really feeling that, like, okay, Neptune, you're creating some sensitivity, some haziness for me. Corby says, had to shift this morning after being triggered, but once I did, it was cleaning mode. Seeing the Virgo moon was there, I was like, oh, I see. Yeah, we feel really nice cleaning things out with the moon in Virgo. So you were already on point. Elena feeling that Virgo moon too. She says, I've been more productive today, getting several important tasks done. Don't we love that for a Virgo moon? I was able to see all the possibilities and support, and I was able to get some great things done. The Virgo in me loves to hear that. So back to the major transit we're experiencing today. I love how, yeah, there might have been some haziness or some triggers, but Neptune connecting with Mercury can help us believe, kind of see the magic in every situation, see the possibility, right? Be more creative, really soften the harsh energy of Mercury in Capricorn. Spiritual thoughts, spiritual ideas might come through, creative ideas might come through. Neptune is that spiritual, magical presence. So that's being infused into our mental state, which is ruled by Mercury. Neptune and Pisces bringing that reassurance to help us soften and flow. Now, your communication might be a little softer and flowier and not quite as precise as you would like it to be, or as I would like it to be personally. But this Neptune's influence, it's a supportive connection between the two. You kind of have to lean into the creativity a little bit, but if you're willing to lean into creativity, some really potent creative ideas could come through. I will also point out that today is the last day of Mercury's shadow period. Thank goodness. So after today, things should get a little bit clearer. It's almost like Neptune was connecting with Mercury on this last day of the shadow period just to be like one little dose of confusion, one little dose of fogginess, and then Mercury retrograde is officially over. We don't have any more retrogrades until April. So yeah, interesting that this timing all comes together like this. And later in the week, I believe on Friday, Mercury will come into a conjunction with Pluto before moving into Aquarius on the 11th. So Mercury's making its final connections this week in Capricorn. Mercury's been in Capricorn for a long time because of that retrograde. And personally, I think, as much as Neptune is totally the opposite energy of my energy in so many ways, I think Neptune's influence, specifically with Mercury and Capricorn, is helpful. It's helpful in allowing us to be more empathetic and compassionate and emotional rather than just being all about black and white, hard facts, right and wrong, which is what we're more prone to with Mercury and Capricorn. So that's the main transit we're feeling. Let's chat about this full moon that we're coming off of. The moon hung out in Leo a little bit this morning, didn't move into Virgo until 1:15 p.m. Pacific time. So early in the morning, for those of us here on the West Coast, 6 a.m. Pacific time, 9 a.m. Eastern time, the moon was opposing Saturn. And that's where that tiredness, doubt, triggered, cranky energy might have come into the picture a little bit. Let's jump back here and I'll show you what that looked like. So I personally felt this a lot because Saturn is still very close to my Saturn, too close for comfort, but you can see that opposition between the moon and Saturn. That opposition makes it easier to believe in the doubts and have those worries and those fears pop up, or literally putting a damper on our energy, especially with the moon in such an energetic sign of Leo. Saturn opposing it is like slow down. Let's be practical. Let's be responsible. You might have been able to get things done. Saturn, when oppositions like that make or break energy. So Saturn, you might have drawn in Saturn's energy and like, okay, we just got to do it. We've just got to be responsible. We've just got to be mature. But you might have felt a little bit like worried or doing things out of fear rather than out of trust, or just tired, just a little tired, low energy. Saturn limits things. So with Saturn opposing the moon, it's natural to feel limited energy. And then the moon was void after that until it moved into Virgo. So for much of the morning, we were experiencing a void moon. And a void moon is that time to tie up loose ends, check things off the to-do list, like Elena was saying, and finish things up so we have a clean slate and a fresh start when the moon moves into the next sign, which just happens to be Virgo. So the moon, the waning gibbous moon, will be in Virgo over the next couple days. Let's chat about this energy because the moon doesn't make any other connections for the rest of the day today. The waning gibbous moon in Virgo. We already had a few of you talking about cleaning, about being productive, two stereotypes of Virgo energy, right? Very productive, liking things to be clean and to be particular and just so. I really love a Virgo moon in the waning phase because now that the moon begins its 2-week release, the waning gibbous moon is a time for introspection. And it's almost like Virgo energy helps us clear out anything in the way of being able to do that self-reflection. So even like cleaning your house, I don't know about you, but for me, like if I have a ton of messiness or clutter, not to say that my house is always clean, it's far from it at the moment, but I notice, maybe it's all my Virgo energy, I notice that if there's a lot of chaos going on around me, I can't really tune into myself as easily. You might be the same way. And so this Virgo moon could be an invitation to cleanse your body, cleanse your space, cleanse your energy so you do have that space to go within, to be a little more introspective. And the analytical energy of this Virgo moon can also allow us to kind of notice the details of our emotional data that's coming up, noticing little shifts, noticing like, oh, okay, that's coming up and that's come up around this instance before. These two things are linked. We can kind of put the pieces together and notice things that maybe we haven't noticed before. So kind of being an analyzer, I don't know, analyzing our own emotions. I'm blaming Neptune and Mercury on that weird little brain glitch right there. Analyzing our own emotions, observing expectations. Virgo tends to have very high expectations or be associated with high expectations. So what expectations do you have that maybe you're ready to release? Maybe expectations of yourself, expectations of other people, maybe beliefs you have that you're ready to let go, physical things you're ready to let go of. It's like the Leo moon really amplified our heart space, and it might have shaken things up with the square to Uranus. And coming out of this, there could be a clearer understanding with the moon in Virgo, or figuring out with the moon in Virgo, kind of processing what came up during the full moon, figuring out, okay, what do we officially need to part ways with and let go of and release in the coming weeks. So it feels very analytical. It feels like crossing things off the to-do list, seeing what's left, seeing, okay, is that a realistic expectation of me today, of me in the short term, in the long term, just kind of planning, processing, analyzing as a form of release. It's interesting because my little bird friend is right outside again. How cute. It's like he knows I'm streaming. It's interesting because it is the release phase, but Virgo energy is more of like the going and doing. So maybe using that productive energy to process, cleanse, release. Yeah, I knew I needed to give my home some love so I would feel set up for the week ahead. I'm like, dry up? Do we want to be dry? Set up for the week ahead. Yeah, exactly. And that could be a release in itself, like releasing that mental anxiety of like, oh my gosh, I have so much to do. Like, let's just check a few things off the to-do list and find a little bit of release in the short term so we can have the capacity to notice the bigger themes, emotions that we're ready to let go of. The puzzle pieces are definitely coming together. Yeah, love that. Can't wait to see the picture be complete or get there. You know, when you're forming a puzzle and you're like, okay, I'm starting to see it. Yeah, love that. Hey, Nick. So that's the forecast. Pretty simple today. Maybe a little confusion, maybe a little sensitivity, even like mental sensitivity with Mercury connecting with Neptune. And still feeling that full moon energy. So emotions, if they're heightened, that's par for the course too. Let's come back to our affirmation of the day. I allow my mind to rest. I'm so glad that I wrote this because it brings up another theme of the Mercury-Neptune connection, and that's Mercury, our mindset. Mercury in Capricorn is like, keep climbing, keep thinking about it, keep focusing on the big picture and the long-term goal. But Neptune is like, okay, but what about the present moment? Let's just let things flow through our mind. Let it happen. You know, we don't have to be on the schedule all the time, Mercury. So Neptune's allowing us to rest. And that could be physically giving your mind more rest, like sleeping, or just allowing that spaciousness, maybe some meditation or some quiet time where you're not constantly being mentally stimulated to have some ideas, creativity drop through. Creativity is a beautiful way of resting your mind too, you know, using a different part of your brain. Have you ever noticed, maybe this is just me, but when I'm like deep into a creative project, sometimes my vision actually blurs a little bit because I'm like almost using a different part of my brain. It's not so important to be honed in on the fine details, right? Rose says, I've gotten stronger than usual insight and messages from past loved ones over the weekend. Ooh, full moon energy in a fire element. Great for all of your fire energy, Rose. And we were starting to feel this sextile between Mercury and Neptune over the weekend as well. So really cool that maybe that's how it's showing up for you, or maybe the full moon just kind of opened a portal for you to get stronger insights. Amazing. Okay, and we're going to finish up from a card pull from the Work Your Light deck, because I personally need a reminder to work my light today. I'm just a little cranky, really feeling Saturn today. And I'm like, what better deck to connect me back with my purpose and remind me. I love the messages in this deck. It's by Rebecca Campbell. So as I'm shuffling, this is your moment to share any final insights. Let me know how the full moon over the weekend felt for you. Ask any final questions. This card stuck out and it just was like, okay, pull me. So I pulled it. Aw, thank you, Corby. You could feel into my energy. Yeah. Nothing major, just one of those days, you know? I love that this is the card that came through, though, the Great Gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits, Soul Tribe. That reminder that we're not alone feels like a lot of the themes that we've touched on, even in just the short time we've been together today. So let's see. Let's see what message the guidebook has for us. This guidebook has seen some stuff. It's been getting some good use. All right, the Great Gathering. Corby pulled the same card today. Just confirmation. I was like, should I pull this card that's sticking out? Yes. Corby, you are on my wavelength. You are being called to let your intuition move you physically. You are connected to a group of souls who are weaving a web around the planet. And as you travel and share your creations, something is rethreaded. This card is an acknowledgement that you are either being called to connect with others who are like you at a soul level, or that you already are. You're being called to gather groups of people, either by leading them or becoming part of a group that can support you and your soul's personal mission. You are part of a group of souls who agreed to be here at this time in history to heal yourself, your ancestral line, and the planet. To raise consciousness so that we can continue to call this magnificent place home for eras to come. One of many consciously choosing to devote your life to something greater than yourself. It's time to call in your tribe by sharing your soul's voice and letting yourself be seen. When you share what is real and true to you, and you share the medicine that you most need, those who are like you will gather around you. You are your tribe. They are just like you. Just as you are longing and searching for them, they are longing and searching for you too. I choose now to let myself be seen. I am ready to call in my soul tribe and create a web of light all over the planet. This was definitely the reminder I needed today, and maybe the reminder you needed too. So fitting for Aquarius season, calling in your people, but also coming off that Leo moon. I hope you found that spark of light within yourself, a big theme of the Leo moon, letting ourselves be seen. And this just feels like the reminder that if you have found your people, they are your people. And if you're searching for your people, they're searching for you too. And if you're new here, then maybe we're your people. And we're so excited to have you. Wow. I love that Corby pulled the same card. Like, just such confirmation, specifically that you and I are meant to be connected, Corby. And yes, our group in transit tracking, this like original group of us here that have been connecting through this live stream for about a year now, like we are meant to be together. I love Rose telling Corby, seeing you on here and in transit tracking is making me realize you are such a badass. Yes, seriously, your intuition is so strong. You are freaking powerful. Like, I just got chills when I said that. But yeah, Corby, like, your power is amazing. The more I learn about you, the more I get to know you. I'm like, I'm so blessed to have this person in my circle. And that goes for each and every one of you finding this live stream right now. If you are watching right now, you're here for a reason, and you have so much light, so much power to spread in the world. And we need you. We need you to create new Earth, to raise the vibration of the planet, and honestly, to like save the Earth. The Earth isn't doing so hot right now. So we need all the love and light and awareness that's coming through right now. Absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely feel like we're supposed to be connected. I got chills when you read that out loud, and I wrote that down. Amazing, Rose. You too. I definitely feel connected to you. Like, the next time I'm in Hawaii, I'm like, I gotta visit Rose. I gotta meet Rose. Yeah. Oh, this is exactly the medicine my soul needed today. It always is. Sometimes I just got to get out of my own way. And, you know, the resistance that I feel, it's always divine timing. It's always perfect when the live stream happens. But today was one of those mornings where I just had so much resistance and was dealing with other work things, you know, other priorities, unfortunately, that I have to deal with. I can't just hang out with you guys all the time, even though I want to. Yes. Feeling so much better. And I hope that if you were having a difficult day, or if you were feeling any sensitivity or confusion today, that this episode gave you a little bit of clarity and confirmation that you are supported. If you're new here, again, we're so excited to have you. If you are one of my OGs, my ride or dies, Corby, Rose, ooh, they might know a connection that both of them know. Yes. Yes. Yes, queen. That's my best. Yes, queen. Maybe close to my best. But those of you who keep showing up, you have such a special place in my heart, and this live stream would not be possible without you. Gosh, Mercury. If you recognize it in me, it's only a reflection of what is in you. The light in me sees the light in each and every one of you. Thank you for that reminder, Corby. I will be back early tomorrow morning to chat about Venus connecting with Uranus. So Uranus threw a wrench in things during the Leo moon, but tomorrow we could get a nice little supportive change in love, money, or beauty. So we'll be chatting about that. We love you right back, Elena. We'll be chatting about that tomorrow, and some exciting transits coming up. Mercury's making waves towards the end of the week. Some nice shifts happening. I think tomorrow will feel like kind of the beginning of a new energy coming in. That's what I'm sensing. We'll see. We'll chat about it tomorrow. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your moon day. I hope you allow your mind a little bit of rest, whatever that looks like for you today. I love you all, and until I see you next, stay curious. Thank you so much for joining us and aligning with the energy of the universe today. If you enjoyed this morning's episode of Transits Today, you can join our live astrology discussion every weekday morning right here wherever you're watching. And head to thespiritualjournalist.com to read your daily astrology forecast and browse the Spiritual Shop. The most fun way to help keep these forecasts free and support more content like this is to buy yourself a little something on our website. But if you're feeling extra generous, you can also buy me a coffee to fuel future live streams. Just tap the link in the description or head to buymeacoffee.com and search The Spiritual Journalist. And speaking of, you can also tune in to The Spiritual Journalist, our weekly live interview where we ask our guests questions about everything from crystals and manifestation to mental health and the environment. Those conversations stream live right here wherever you're watching now every Tuesday. I'm so grateful you found us here, and I can't wait for our next conversation.